Look at those ducks. They're going for it.
They're chowing down.
Fruit Loops. Here's breakfast. They like them. Well, they liked them before.
Well, it's not just for Mikey.
I don't know what's going on. Oh, hey.
How you doing?
It's not another time there. Okay, hi, I'm Mark Boyle.
And I'm Andy Cusimano.
And welcome to another edition of Eye on New Paltz.
New Paltz.
If you haven't noticed, Andy Cusimano is back.
Yes, I was on sabbatical.
Sabbatical for what were you doing?
I was working with dysfunctional children at the Betty Ford Clinic.
Betty Ford Clinic. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Wendy was there for a while, and now Andy's back again.
Yes.
And why don't we just get started on the show here? The first segment on Eye on New Paltz is...
State SUNY.
State of SUNY, and that was done by Mark DeVideo.
Another paisan.
Yes! Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so let's go to that now.
Okay, let's go. Shoot to it.
The State University of New York is in its 43rd year and is one of the longest established universities in the country. In fact, some of its services date back as far as 1816. What is the current state of SUNY? Well, funding for the system, including state-operated campuses and community colleges, is divided into 5 categories. 41% of the funding is raised through state taxes, 33% is raised by student and other university-generated income, 15% by federal and other funds, 6% by local sponsor support, and 5% by one-time university income. Though Governor Mario Cuomo's proposed deficit reduction plan may put more money into the general fund, it also threatens cuts. SUNY Chancellor D. Bruce Johnstone, in his testimony before a joint hearing of the Senate Finance Committee and Assembly Ways and Means Committee, said SUNY is facing overall reductions of about $160 million. He said even with the estimated $60 million in revenue generated by the proposed tuition increase, SUNY still faces a problem. This may mean a loss of about 1,500 positions statewide. Last fall, the state increased tuition by $300 a year, which brought the tuition up to $1,650 a year. This is the first increase since 1983. Now Cuomo is proposing an additional $500 tuition increase, but this increase would only bring $60 million into a $160 million problem. So another $88 million will come from base budget cuts, which includes a $60 million lump sum cut, a $14 million across-the-board cut, and a $14 million in support for the hospitals. The other $12 million will be used from unfunded items such as contractual items, inflationary costs, tuition waiver costs, graduate stipend increases, and the library automation program. Johnstone feels that if the tuition increase is not authorized, the SUNY financial problems will only get worse. SUNY New Paltz President Alice Chandler says the effect of the cuts for SUNY New Paltz would range from 3 to 6% in additional cuts from last year. At 3%, New Paltz would lose about $980,000. At 6%, the college would lose about $1.9 million. Chandler said the college is pressing SUNY Centro for the lower cut.
Now, I've been pressing SUNY very intensely that we are entitled to be cut only at the low end because we're among the less well-funded of SUNY institutions. So if they really want to even things out, then the thing to do is to bring down those campuses which are relatively well-funded, while at the same time only more lightly hitting those campuses which are very badly funded to begin with.
Now, if the cuts are at 3%, Chandler said layoffs and retrenchments will probably be avoided. Instead of more cuts, how about a New York State tax increase?
In terms of New York State, looking at the corporate tax rate, it's a slightly tougher issue, I think, because if you're not careful, then you drive businesses out of the state. I'm not saying it shouldn't be revisited, but you have to look at the advantages to New York State of being economically viable and desirable and having businesses and having jobs and creating prosperity through full employment. And the alternative, which is, yes, you charge a very high tax rate to business and industry, but then they decide they'll go live in Connecticut or New Jersey or Pennsylvania. And then there are fewer jobs, fewer people paying taxes, and you get into a down spiral.
But the United University Professions disagree. According to local chapter president Jay Bloom, the union feels that a corporation looking for a location to operate first looks at the labor force, and taxes are about 12th on the list. Bloom said if SUNY cuts occur, educations go down, and so does the workforce. The union is mainly looking for fair taxes. Bloom said that the current tax rate levels off at $28,000. They think that at $200,000 it should rise again and then level off. But the fate of SUNY won't be known until the state passes the budget. The budget should be in place by the end of March, but hasn't been on time in the past 7 years. Next month on Aya New Paltz, we'll focus on some additions and some subtractions from the SUNY New Paltz campus. For Aya New Paltz, I'm Mark DeVideo.
Look at that one. Is that a babe or what?
Either that or just a duck.
Look at the bill on that. Is that hot? Or
Is it a beak or is it a bill?
Hey, welcome back. That was a great story Mark DeVideo did, and
Yes.
We hope everything works out.
Yes, for the people, it's state SUNY cuts, and it's a very serious problem, and it'll all work out eventually.
Very serious problem because we have to pay those as well.
Yeah.
But on to a lighter side, we have now, Josh and Marilyn did the AA story.
Not to get confused with A1 Steak Sauce or the rock group, Aha.
No, or RA, RRD, or anything like that.
No, yeah.
No, not at all. So, if you ever wondered...
Well, look at that one!
Look, hey! What the heck?
Oh, sorry. It's a Fruit Loop break.
Give Fruit Loops, Fruit Loops, they're going wild!
Here we go. We're gonna get back. Hey. Oh, maybe it's full. It's gonna puke.
What the heck? Hey!
It's Birds Part 2!
Oh my God,
The
Alfred
Alfred
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock special.
Oh!
Well, I guess the Fruit Loops.
Oh my God. Well, if you were wondering what AAs do, Josh and Marilyn are going to show you right now, so let's go to that.
All right. What exactly are the responsibilities of an activities assistant?
Well, there's several things we have to do. We have to set duty hours. There's a long shift and a short shift duty hour. A long shift starts at 4:30 and ends at 11, and a short shift starts at 8 and ends at 11. And generally during those shifts we do an hourly round of the building, that is the sub. We make sure all the conference rooms are open and that all the groups that are utilizing these rooms are happy, basically. So that's one aspect. Another aspect is the advising aspect. We each are responsible for advising a group. My group, for instance, is the Student Art Guild, and I'm kind of a liaison with this group and the Office of College Activities, and I'm kind of a resource person. I help them with their registration forms and other forms and policies and things like that. The third area of responsibility is we are each responsible for supervising a team, either the security team, the crew team, or the info booth team. We hire all these people, we have interviewed these people, and we basically manage the teams, and if necessary, we terminate people from the teams.
The activity assistants are hired through a selection process that is held in conjunction with the Residence Life Office. The applicants go through a joint application process with the Resident Assistant Program, but when it comes down to actually hiring the 6 individuals, that decision is made by myself and the Director of College Activities.
The activities assistant position was developed in 1986 here at SUNY, the college at New Paltz, in the Office of College Activities. People that are in activities assistant positions were originally called building managers for the student union building, and their primary responsibility before 1986 was running the building for weeknight and weekend events, and involved in all the supervision and building operation concerns that help groups do programs here. In 1986, our department felt there was a necessity to change the focus of the building manager position for a couple of things. One, being in an educational institution, we felt the term manager didn't truly represent what the people that were in those positions truly did. The most important thing to talk about was that they were helping groups plan programs and put the publicity together for those particular programs before the event actually occurred. So they're much more than just management. And so the term activities assistant came to bear upon those positions because they really are people who assist groups in putting activities together.
We talked with the AAs to see what they liked and disliked about the job.
I like the fact that I'm really centrally located on campus. I like the fact that all the students, most of the students come and use this building, so it's really a central place, kind of the heart of the campus.
Sometimes the hours are a little late, like a dance tonight will go till 3 a.m. Or sometimes you get a phone call in the middle of the night asking to open the building.
Okay, we're now walking down the fourth floor hallway where the activities assistants' rooms are. I guess one of the main advantages of being an AA is getting your own room up here.
Oh, it's great. It's basically a free apartment. It's got cable, air conditioning. We got our own bathrooms and showers. We got wall-to-wall carpeting.
Being able to help people when they come in and they're lost, either about programming or trying to find a way to work something out in the sub, finding ways to work around their problems, or just being there when someone's frantic to have a program and just being able to calm them down and helping them and be like, okay, we're going to do this, and yes, I can find this for you, and everything will be all right, and you'll have a great program.
It is lonely up here. I mean, after 11 o'clock, nobody's running around the hallways. Building's pretty closed. You have to go outside and get together with your friends and stuff like that.
Always remember we are being called by AA. That AA doesn't mean Alcohol Anonymous. That means Activities Assistant.
I never saw anybody light up a bar like Jack.
You can say that again.
He had 1 million jokes.
2 million.
Oh, what a riot.
Oh, yeah.
One of a kind.
No kidding.
I swear, if I thought he couldn't drive, I'd have said something. You know? I mean, how could you spoil his fun?
Right.
Take the keys. Call a cab. Take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Exorcist ducks! Exorcist ducks!
It's a duck fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's gonna win? Put your money down now! Oh, yes! They're necking! Oh, yeah!
Is he using the tongue?
Oh, my God, he's got him underwater.
Mark, look at this. You can learn.
Oh, my God. Sorry about
and the green captain leading the
duck
gun
here, folks. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, you think he's eating his hair?
No?
What is it that he's
eating?
eating?
He's just trying. Oh, my God, feathers are flying.
He's eating the air. They're poking at each other's feathers.
Oh, my God. Maybe that's how they defeather each other.
The days of the ducks.
Well, anyway, about the AA story here.
Story.
The story.
The story.
So, they did a good job with that, and I learned a couple of things. I never knew they did, some of that stuff.
It was a very good story.
Story, yeah.
And a good friend of mine, Steve Aquino, was in that one.
Let's move on now to the...
Did you know how they twirl those...
The twirl the what?
The whistles?
Who?
Steve was twirling the whistles when he was doing the...
Oh, yeah, he was twirling the whistles. Sort of like a life... He was probably a lifeguard over the summer.
He had the collar up. He was just like this. Just like twirling the whistles.
Yeah, the Exorcist duck is coming back. Well, anyway, we're going on to the newspaper profile story now. That was done by the advanced video class, and they did a really good job with it, and let's take a look at it.
Yes.
There has been an advent of issues concerning race on college campuses throughout the United States. The college at New Paltz is no exception. There are specific channels through which information is dispelled within the college community: administration to student, student to administration, and student to student. How? Here at New Paltz, the Fajari, Oracle, and Hermanos Latinos are the student newspapers that are designed to be the voice of the community they represent. On the issues of race, there has been controversy surrounding what they actually portray. The newspaper representing the African American community is the Fajari. It has just celebrated its 20th anniversary and is currently staffed by over 14 students.
The motto of the paper is, "We seek knowledge, truth, and unity with pride." But the interest basically is in the African American community. And the responsibility of the paper is to report issues or circumstances that deal with or might affect the African American community, although it's for the entire campus to read.
As the oldest student newspaper on the New Paltz campus, the Oracle, which originated in 1936, strives to be the paper for the entire student body, according to staff member Bill Richmond. The paper, with a staff of approximately 10, is distributed throughout the campus and the Mid-Hudson Valley. Hermanos Latinos, the paper focusing on the Latino community, has been in print since 1972. It is staffed by 9 students and distributes monthly editions. Franz Andre, managing editor of Hermanos Latinos, says the paper covers issues concerning Latinos in the Latin community on campus and around the world. The question is, do the student newspapers accurately represent the general consensus of race relations on campus?
I think whenever the papers deal with race relations and racism, they're not going out into the campus and getting the campus's point of view. And if they do, they get about 5 people and they put their picture in the newspapers, such as the Oracle does, and they ask a question, but it doesn't really encompass the entire community's view about racism.
It seems like the papers are more so reporting their opinions, and that should be just like a side note, the opinion page. It shouldn't be the most of the paper.
I think the campus newspapers can be biased. That's why I really don't read them that much.
Karen Pennington, Dean of Student Life, speaks on the newspaper's handling of race relations.
I think all 3 of them approach the matter very differently. I don't think I'd necessarily say that all 3 of them deal with race relations.
Howard Good, professor of ethics and journalism, says,
I'm not sure that any one paper can, and particularly in any one issue of the paper, can represent every viewpoint that's going to be present on a topic.
Editorial content in all papers has varied, from the controversial Soul on Ice column by Rance Huff, the Conservatives' Corner by Denny Drew, and the highly vocal Ignorance versus Sellout, Where Do We Stand article by Luana Ferretta. Each columnist touched on issues of race, college life, activities, and other issues. While their views were sometimes thought-provoking, they were often deemed offensive. In addition, pictures and cartoons were also printed that have stirred students and faculty members. One specific piece was Michael Lee Barlin's cartoon, which depicts a man in a sheet emanating derogatory comments against various ethnic groups. According to Barlin, this cartoon was intended satire. Student opinions vary.
It showed that he was kind of insensitive and ignorant on certain racial relations and everything. And in my opinion, the Oracle should have, thought that this article might be a little sensitive, and they should have gone around and asked a couple of culture groups, what do you think about this? Even if they disagreed with it, they should have at least had that input.
That cartoon stuck the most in my mind because I had heard my friends talking about it. When I saw it, I was like, how could they print this? And even though I had a feeling that the person behind it was trying to make a satire out of the Ku Klux Klan, I thought it was done in the wrong way, because why do something and have to explain yourself afterwards?
Sort of irresponsible to put that cartoon in without explaining it, really. It should have had something to explain it, because when you first see it and that's all you see and that's all that's there, you're like, who is this person and why would the Oracle put that in and just leave it at that? I think explanation should have been put in to explain it to everybody so that they knew that it was just a satire and not something that's real and not something that could ever happen on this campus.
I understand the cartoon. I think it might be in bad taste, but
as we all know, there is freedom of the press, so they have the right to do what they want.
In response to student complaints, Marilyn says, quote, "I think I saw it coming, but I'm surprised at how many people are ignorant as to what the comic was about. The comic was poking fun at the men behind the sheets. People don't realize that." End quote. Jamie Kleinkoff, managing editor of The Oracle, tells how submitting the cartoon was handled.
We handled that by passing it off to Chris, because it was one of Chris's decision to run it. We didn't have an editorial board meeting to discuss it. Chris saw it, didn't think much of it, passed it around, said, "Do you guys have a problem with that?" We glanced at it for 2 seconds, and it went in. I'm all for, if you've got a problem, come on in and talk. And if you want it to be a retraction, well, you write something. We'll put it in the letters. We'll put it in the letters page. Because if it's the student's campus paper, it's not just me, it's not just the editor-in-chief. It's you, everyone who's listening to this right now. Write a letter. Type, space, double space, your name on it. Come in and look at us if it hasn't been in, and it'll go in.
All the opinions expressed on the newspaper's handling of race relations prove that there is a definite need for a solution. Possible suggestions were offered by students and faculty.
If you ask me if I think the papers can help the situation, I think they can by reporting the facts more so than reporting their opinions.
If you're going to err in terms of deciding or making determinations as to what should be printed or what should be seen or read or viewed, err on the side of allowing everything to be seen and let the marketplace, let the intelligent marketplace decide what's valuable, what they agree with, what they don't agree with.
They could report on multicultural affairs, the things that are happening, the positive things that are happening on this campus. Like last semester, the Latin American Student Union had a big dinner at a la carte, and they prepared their own cultural foods and everything. And, that was great, but the Oracle didn't report on that, and that was something really positive that a cultural group was doing to try to make another, the mainstream group aware of what's going on. And there were a lot of other things, like the JSU had a meeting with the Muslim Student Union right in the middle of this war going on in the Persian Gulf. And they had a big dinner with them, and that was a show of some kind of solidarity. Even though we don't agree with you politically on some of the things that you're doing, we still don't want to kill you or, maim you or anything like that. The Oracle didn't report on that. So they can report on cultural things that happen on campus that are positive, and they can certainly be a little bit more sensitive.
To have more students who were involved in writing for the papers, to have more students involved in reading the papers. I talk to many students who don't read the papers, and to have many more students let the editors know what they're thinking.
Students and faculty are truly concerned with what the Oracle, Bahari, and Hermanos Latinos print, particularly these handlings of race-related content. The Bahari follows its motto of seeking knowledge, truth, and unity with pride by representing the African American view. The Oracle strives to report all the news of the campus, and Hermanos Latinos bases its content on Latino issues and student opinions. Whether these strategies are sufficient in illuminating issues concerning race is still in contention. The most commonly referred to solution is for students to take an active role in the writing of the papers. Students must exercise their power of the press.
Okay, well, on our next story, it's my favorite...
Wait, before that.
What?
I just hear...
You hear.
This is a rumor.
Rumor.
Just a rumor. Don't take it in any more fashion than it is just a rumor. That sometimes, technical difficulties, boom mics hitting people or just coming in the way. And is that a fly on me? What is...
No. I haven't heard about that.
No?
No.
I'm sorry,
this show is top-notch
quality.
Top-notch quality show.
That's what I figured.
No technical difficulty. Booms. Where have you been from?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, our next story by Barbara Brandenko is the My Favorite Movie line.
And that was a very lively shoot. People had lots of fun on that one.
That's right. And what's your favorite movie line?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
Not really.
Do you watch movies? Do you go out? Do you have a social life?
I watch CBS late night movies.
Late night movies? Like with Ronald Reagan and stuff like that?
No, that he was president.
No, but they show all his old movies on.
Oh yeah, with the monkey.
Right. There you go. Okay. Well, anyway.
The monkey.
The monkey. All right. Hey, okay. So anyway, let's go to...
crazy. It's the monkey people.
Okay, Andy. Let's go to My Favorite Movie line with Barbara.
Take it away, Barbara.
Hi, my name is Barbara Brandenko, and this month on New Paltz, we needed to fill up some time for the segment. So we decided to go out and ask some students what their favorite movie lines were. And this is what we came up with. Do you have a favorite line from a movie?
Sure do. It's Play It Again, Sam from Casablanca.
And your line from a favorite movie?
From Repo Man. Yeah, let's do crime. Let's go eat sushi and not pay.
Well, it's from my favorite movie called Aliens, and it's from one character who's going through a whole mess of shit. And the part ends like, quote, the sergeant's gonna get the out of here.
My favorite line is, I guess, "You're such a pillowcase, Heather."
And what movie is that from?
That's from Heather's.
Drop it. From RoboCop.
Do you have a favorite line from a movie?
Yeah, what's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he says, I'll be back? I thought it was, Running Man. Wait, he says that in all his movies.
Do you have a favorite line from a movie?
To Be or Not to Be from Hamlet.
Dirty Harry. I think it's from Sudden Impact. All right. You want me to go ahead and say it then? Okay. You forgot your fortune cookie. It says you're luck.
Mint.
2001, A Space Odyssey. Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
The movie is the cult classic Backdoor Bandits, and the line is, "Oh, baby, baby, yeah, right there, baby." Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Hello, my name is Antonio Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh, we're filming. Well, that was my favorite line from a movie. And this is Barb reporting for Eye on New Paltz.
There's not a man, woman, child alive who doesn't enjoy a lovely beverage.
And what movie is that from?
It's not from a movie. It's from Late Night with David Letterman.
Letterman? I asked you for a movie.
I didn't give you one. You have a problem with it?
Fine. Okay, well, that wraps up another edition of Eye on New Paltz.
Jerk.
Anyway, that wraps up another edition of Eye on New Paltz. Hope to see you next month.
Yeah.
I'm Mark Boylan.
And I'm Andy Cusimano.
And have a great month.
Bye.
Not going to happen to me.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen to me.
I was really shocked when I found out I was infected. I didn't think anything like this could ever happen to me.
Only certain people get it.
I'm a good example that you can get AIDS from heterosexual sex.
Who cares?
I'm trying to make the best of the time that I have left, because realistically, I really don't know how much time that is.
You could be putting yourself at risk.